Hey, how's it going? So, I wanted to give an update on what I've learned about having seizures and everything. The first thing is auras are seizures, but they're um I'm aware, I'm present, but it makes it hard to talk. It makes me tired, it makes me dizzy, and depending on where the electrical charge is being sent to my brain, and then it, like, wherever that is, wherever the electricity goes, sometimes it goes all over certain spots. What I learned is that my frontal lobe cortex, I'm getting the terms incorrectly here, but this part in the hippocampus, which is, I believe, like underneath that makes the brain, the left and right brain, connect. Uh, that little part of the brain. Um, that's where I had the seizure. Never had one before. I was, born with cerebral palsy, so there's just a very small, um, uh, probably like a little bit of dead scar tissue, things like that. So that might be the cause. Cerebral palsy is a permanent movement disorder. I'm having aura right now, all day. We'll get into that. The hippocampus, by the way, is my thinking part of the brain, basically, and my movement part, and my speaking, whatever. Jesus Christ. It fucking sucks. Auras suck. But then there's the next phase if you're really unfortunate. Pretty common. Anything to do with this stuff is unfortunate. Where, like, you can start to kind of phase out a little bit. You're losing consciousness. You're aware of what's happening. That's like the maybe tonic phase or something like that. And then there's the full seizure. I'm forgetting the phases here, where you're like, So anyway, I'm learning all this stuff. The final phase is you're kind of coming to, and then you come to, basically. And that took me 20 minutes. I've only had one, I would call it, the whole, like, twitching and, not aware of what's happening. I had one of those so far, July 18th. But for 4 years, I've been having auras, and like I said, neurologist, I've said this stuff in the past, neurologist just told me it's illogical, so, I got really fucked over, but at the same time, it's like, we did an EEG, and it wasn't showing anything, and all that stuff, and, the cerebral palsy was considered, but it's like, I really just think you're just on too many medications. I don't like what they're doing to you. That was regarding to psychiatry that I was receiving that I no longer go to. They really fucked me up. So when I was born, cerebral palsy, going back to that, a doctor forgot to check on my mother, and so I suffocated, and so dead cells, and I was crowning out of my mom, and that led to me not having oxygen. A nurse or another doctor came in while the one that was supposed to be there was on a walk outside, and said, where the fuck is the fucking doctor? She's crowning. Where the fuck is he? And that guy saved my life. So my upbringing was pretty fucking stressful. Just lost 2 fucking dogs as well. I had my seizure. A couple days later, I go to therapy, trying to find a therapist, by the way. Trauma, specializes in trauma, looking for that, straight Medicaid. So anyway, I come back home, and good old boss, I live with my grandparents and my mom. Good old boss, beautiful, beautiful dog. Yeah, he had sags on his heart, and I guess they had to put him down. He wasn't gonna make it. And then a couple days, 6 days later, the other dog that we had, Mickey. Luckily, I still have my dog somewhere, but he's probably on the floor wanting to go outside. Walking the dog, having auras is a no-go. So I let him out in the backyard, but he can get loose, so I try to get other people to do that. But anyway, Mickey, little guy, little dog. Yeah, he died of a seizure. And both dogs, 6 days apart, yet collapsed on the same spot in the house between my grandparents' bed. Anyway, I saw the dog seize, trying to save his life by helping my grandmother, who's holding the dog, going, Mickey, hold on, it's okay. Trying to find the closest ER for animals, which was about 10 minutes, 15 minutes away, thankfully. By the time they got there, and then the dog comes to, he dies. He looked at my grandmother and my mom one more time. Fever was 107 on the dog, and in total he was probably seizing for about 45 minutes. So, cool, right? Yeah, fuck me, right? And then I proceed to, basically, I'm still processing my brother from him committing suicide, and 2 to 3 months later, my cousin committed suicide as well. So, my brother shot himself, my cousin hung herself. I want to say I've had it. Like, with suicide. Talked about it multiple times, and this has a lot to do with why I'm having so much stress, to where, like, I'm having more auras and stuff like that, why I wake up in the middle of the night crying, because I'm having dreams of my mom or my dog dying, or dead. I mean dead. I'm trying to find a therapist, right? It's been hard. Like, I'm literally active doing that, proactive, the best I can, but I'm talking like I'm fighting. So that's what's been going on. Auras are, the shady part for me is just the cognitive ability to be able to have a conversation with my girlfriend, have a conversation with my mom, my grandmother, trying to help my grandmother with the damn remote, trying to figure out how to edit a video for YouTube, shit like that. I can't. Hell, I could probably trigger a full seizure if I'm not careful. I'm on the generic form of Capra right now, which is, someone with PTSD and a history of anxiety and stuff and depression. Like, it's really hard on me, but fortunately, like, 500 milligrams in the morning, 500 milligrams at night. So that's every 12 hours. I take the seizure medication along with trazodone, and 3 to 4 times a day I take anxiety pills, which is hydroxyzine. So with that said, that's an update on me, and I hate what's happened. I lost my home, all this shit, at my grandparents' house. Now I love it here, but even though I'm here, it feels like I'm a fucking ghost. With that said, cheers to everybody out there. Rather, if you're struggling or not, know that people like me care about you. Hang in there. Stay strong. Peace.